Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about how I managed to keep my hair healthy and long even though I have to dye it every 4 weeks in order to keep my roots from being sort of a grayish blonde. I am naturally a redhead. I have always been a redhead and I am not ready to be anything other than a redhead. So that means I have to dye my hair every 4 weeks, which would be a lot of damage on my almost 50-year-old hair. And I can't keep up with that. So I sort of developed my own way to minimize the damage. It only takes about 15 minutes or less, uses minimal tools, minimal skill, and doesn't necessarily follow all the rules that they say on the box. This saves me a $300 trip to the salon for a nice dye job every 4 weeks, which I'm sorry, that's just not in my budget. I think that anyone can do this at home once you sort of see how easy it is and how good the results really are. You cannot see the difference between where I dyed my hair and where I did not. The trick is you're not going to dye the whole length of your hair every 4 weeks. That is what you were supposed to do. That's what it says to do on the box, but no. And the whole reason they have you do that is so that you don't end up with a line, right, of the newly dyed hair, especially red. Red comes out sort of a little bit bright at first, and then it quickly fades after 1 or 2 washes. I managed to get that to match from my ends to the base right from the beginning without having to go through and dye the whole lengths. And then the real trick is you do use shampoo the first time so that you wash out some of the color that you just put in, and it really manages to make it match the rest of your hair without having to dye the rest of your hair. So let's just get to the footage. I will walk you through exactly how easy this is to do, and I highly encourage you to give this a try yourself. What do you have to lose? $3 in 15 minutes? I mean, come on.
Okay, so here is about 4 weeks of growth. I'm showing you 2 pictures on the bottom because it's kind of hard to see in my bathroom lights how much there is a difference, and you really do see. There you can see it a little bit more there. Okay, so I have been using this L'Oreal Superior Preference in Strawberry Blonde forever and ever. There's all the tools that you need, super simple and not very expensive. I start with the developer and this cap that I picked up from something else. I get 3 uses out of every single box. I use a little bit of the developer, and I'm gonna use an even amount of the actual hair dye itself. I am eyeballing this. If you're not comfortable eyeballing this at a 1-to-1 ratio, by all means, get some sort of little measuring cup or something like that. I've been doing this long enough, I just don't need it. So you do want to mix it up really well. Normally you would have put it all in the original bottle and shaken it, but we're having to do this with, some little cap that I was using from something else. There we go, all mixed up. This is what it should look like if you're using my color. And I'm going to go ahead and put 1 glove on and use my other hand just to paint. And so I am going to start by just painting very carefully over the root areas that have grown out. For me, it's always, anywhere from 1/4 inch to 1 inch before I get to it. I don't like having to spray dye my roots or, put powders. I will do it, but I don't prefer to do that. I prefer to just keep them dyed and have it look nice and fresh all of the time. Okay, so you can see I'm doing it right at my natural part because this is how I always wear my hair. This is what you're going to really see first. And now I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around my face. Right by my temples is where I actually have some silver grays, and those are really resistant. So you will see throughout this video, I will paint the heck out of them. I will come back and I will keep going over them. I want to make sure they're really, really saturated. But I do have a small amount of dye that I'm using, and so I really use my fingers to work it in, and I'm not just glopping it on everywhere. That's why I have the brush. It allows me to really get right where I want and paint. And I'm doing a little bit over, I'm going over into the already dyed area just a little bit, but not a ton. I'm really going to start by just sticking to all the areas that have, new growth and are not red anymore. You got to get all the way around your ears. You got to get behind your ears. And of course, I can't see what I'm doing. I'm not magic here. So I am just going by feel. And that's one of the reasons I do like to have gloves on one hand, is because I can really kind of feel where the wetness is. I know that sounds gross, but you can feel where, you're actually getting the product and really rub it in with your fingers. Okay, now it's time to get the roots that are hidden, because they're not always hidden. And I like to use the back of the brush. It is a great little tool to give you some more control. See how I like put it through and use it to flip over the next layer of hair. And I am still using my fingers to rub it in whenever I get done with each area. And I'm going to continue doing that more. And the back, you just got to do by feel. Ooh, yeah, okay. So here, this is a really important part. This is one of those super expensive, probably 50-cent tools. This little comb is what gives it a very, very natural look. So you start out by really brushing it through in all the areas so that everything is nice and straight. And then you go back with your brush and you start painting. And you're trying to you're not just soaking it, you're trying to do this nice painterly layer on top of it that you can keep brushing through. You can use your fingers, but use your tools just like you're painting something and you're trying to blend, because that is how it's going to look the most natural when you are finished. You won't be able to tell the difference. There are natural variations in your hair, and as long as you don't have just a solid line, which is kind of what you start with, it's gonna, sort of blend in and look pretty natural. You can see I'm going over a lot of the same areas again and again just to make sure that there is even application everywhere. It doesn't look that even in the back there because I was still working on it, but this is where you probably have to spend most of your time, is just go through and try to blend it like you're trying to blend paint, and you just really don't want any harsh lines anywhere. You want it to look natural. See what a nice blend I have here on this side. Even so, I'm going to keep going, and I'm using the flat side of the brush. I'm really not loading the brush up. I'm just going through and making sure that there is a thin layer that is kind of gradiating down the rest of my lengths. Okay, so I feel like I've got good enough. I'm going to go ahead and clip my hair up and wait for 30 minutes for it to fully dye. This is a good time to dye your eyebrows if you need to do that. All right, time to hop in the shower, wash it out, use shampoo and conditioner, even though it says not to. Okay, there, all done. And here is the final result. I am super happy. You cannot see that everything is dyed all the way down to the root. I don't have a bright red line anywhere. It looks super natural. It completely blends into the rest of my hair. I mean, this is pretty much what I do every time. And yes, every once in a while I miss a spot or two, but whenever you do it with the kind of paintbrush technique, it just ends up looking really natural. And my hair looks healthy, which is the important part. So that's it. $3 and 15 minutes. You need these two tools
and something to mix in. And that's really it. You can really take care of your own hair and age the way that you want to age. Or say you've been dyeing your hair a certain color forever and you hate dealing with roots and all that kind of stuff, but you also don't like all the damage that's going on with your hair. This is a great way to save yourself time, money, and damage to your hair. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, I am more than happy to answer questions, and I love talking to you guys. If you like this kind of content, please go ahead and like and subscribe and hit the notification button so that you get notified every time I upload. I usually try to upload at least one full-length video a week, and then I usually have a couple of shorts throughout the week trying out other beauty products and giving you my thoughts. All right, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again.